Good morning, welcome to Breakfast News. A new year and new beginning on the 1st of January here. Year hope, positivity, and let's all wish our viewers that this particular year brings joy and cheer and smiles on each and everyone's face. You know, if 2020 was the year of health problems or health challenges, then let's hope that 2021 is the year of health solutions. And let's look forward to this year with a lot of hope and anticipation that things are going to fall in the right place with the vaccine reaching each and every one of the people, not only in India but across the world, and we are all able to live and enjoy life beautifully. Well, over the next 60 minutes, we'll get you all that matters, you know, especially all the New Year celebrations that happened all across the world and lots of other stories that developed overnight from the field of politics, business, sports and entertainment. And I always say, you know, we cut all the noise, bring you facts as it happens there on ground zero, and we'll do that in the next 1 hour. I'm Anil Thomas. With me this morning, my co-anchor, Nancy Kohli. Nancy, good morning.
Anil, good morning and wish you a very happy new year. A very happy and blessed and safe happy new year to our viewers as well. And we wish you a very healthy and great times ahead. We are in fact hoping, all of us, you know, at the start of the show, that this year really brings a lot of good things for all of us to share with the loved ones and great times to look forward to. On that note, let's begin and take a look at the headlines. On New Year's Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay the foundation stone of lighthouse projects under Global Housing Technology Challenge India across 6 states via video conferencing. Prime Minister will also announce winners of PMAY Urban and Asha India Awards. As a year of patience and self-reliance bids adieu, 2021 arrives with new hopes. Amidst night curfews imposed in different parts of the country, people welcome New Year with rigor and caution. The pandemic dampens New Year celebrations around the world.
Delhi and NCR shivers in the cold wave as conditions intensify due to snowfall in the hills. Dense fog covers parts of national capital in the early hours of New Year. Winter peaks in many parts of the country, including Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. Met Department predicts rain by the 2nd of Jan.
Centre gears up for the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine across the country. Dry runs in all the states and the union territories from 2nd January. The subject expert committee to meet today to consider the emergency use approval request from Pfizer, SII and the Bharat Biotech. The WHO lists Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use.
Well, CBSE Class 10 and 12 board examinations to begin from 4th of May. Exams to conclude by June 10th, 2021. Results will be out by July 15th.
In international news, the United Kingdom leaves European Union's economic and political orbit in a historic departure 4 years after the Brexit vote. At 11 at night in London on Thursday, the UK exited the bloc's single market and the customs union as the Brexit transition period came to an end.
Well, those are the headlines at the top of the hour. Now for the stories in detail, starting first up with the top story from the Prime Minister's event today.
Absolutely. Prime Minister Modi will lay the foundation stone of the lighthouse projects under Global Housing Technology Challenge India across 6 states today. The Prime Minister will also announce the winners under the Affordable Sustainable Housing Accelerators India and give out the annual awards for excellence in implementation of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban Mission. Prime Minister Modi will also release a certificate course on the innovative construction technologies named Navarithi.
Six cities across 6 states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of lighthouse projects under Global Housing Technology Challenge India in these cities on Friday. So what exactly is this all about? The lighthouse projects showcase the best of new age alternate global technologies, materials and processes in the construction sector for the first time in the country. They are being constructed under GHTC-India, which envisages providing an ecosystem for adoption of innovative technologies in the housing construction sector in a holistic manner. The LHPs are being constructed at Indore in Madhya Pradesh, Rajkot in Gujarat, Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Ranchi in Jharkhand, Agartala in Tripura and Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. They comprise about 1,000 houses at each location along with allied infrastructure facilities. These projects will demonstrate and deliver ready-to-live houses within 12 months as compared to conventional brick and mortar construction and will be more economical, sustainable, of high quality and durability.
Why I am calling it lighthouse project? Because they are like live laboratories where we would like to associate students of engineering, architecture and planning, members of faculty from the public as well as private colleges and the universities, various practitioners in the public sector as well as the private sector, and the policy makers. They could visit that. We are going to webcast different things at different point of time so that this can become a big learning and this can also become part of our curriculum.
Prime Minister will also announce winners under Affordable Sustainable Housing Accelerators India or ASHA India and give out annual awards for excellence in implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban Mission. Among the awardees for excellence in implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban is Mukkam municipality in Kozhikode district of Kerala, which has been selected for presenting novel and unique models of implementing the PMAY. The Green Channel facility, introduced for smooth coordination between central and state governments and the municipality, has become the salient feature of the scheme implementation in Mukkam. From using cheap cement blocks to installation of biogas plants, several unique features have been implemented here.
The notable feature of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana implementation here is the excellent coordination in implementing all the schemes for the welfare of beneficiaries. For example, the biogas plant was provided at Rs 1,500 under the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Cement blocks were made at a cost of Rs 10 each per block using the employment guarantee scheme. The unemployed were given employment utilizing the possibilities of National Urban Livelihood Mission. Thus, the Mukkam municipality could convert the scheme into a very attractive project. We will attain 100% target within 2 to 3 months.
The actual cost of the biogas plant is 15,000 rupees, but the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana beneficiaries are given the plant at 1,500 rupees. That's how the municipality helped beneficiaries with all the necessary facilities.
I got a house near a road. I am happy that I don't have to cross water-logged areas to reach home. Earlier, my family also was living with my parents, brothers and grandparents. Now I have my own house.
Prime Minister will release a certificate course on innovative construction technologies named Navarithi, that is new, affordable, validated research innovation technologies for Indian housing, and a compendium of 54 innovative housing construction technologies identified through GHTC-India. On the first day of the new year, India will see a new chapter added in the Housing for All promise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With inputs from Mukesh Shukla, Bureau Report, DD India.
And let's now go across to our correspondent Arun for more details as far as these developments are concerned. Arun, good morning. So Prime Minister Modi, they are starting this new year, with a fresh, determination as far as, transforming India's urban landscape is concerned. And tell us a bit more about this lighthouse projects, how these will really showcase, the best of new age alternate global technologies.
Well, good morning and Happy New Year to both of you, Nancy and Anil, and to all our viewers of DD India. A very, very Happy New Year and prosperous New Year ahead. Well, indeed, it's a big day for the housing and urban sector. And what better day could it have been than the 1st of January of the new year, the 2021. Well, many people take resolutions as far as in New Year, they'll be having their own houses. But the government over here is committed to ensure that the fast delivery of houses can be, ensured. And in that context only, the lighthouse projects are going to be game changer. Now, just to understand the concept of lighthouse, now these are the faster, this can be built in a faster mode, and of course with technology involved in this aspect. And we should not forget this fact that these lighthouses can also be constructed in less time, as the era of mortar and bricks time, whereby the housing construction used to take place close to 1 year or more than 1 year. These houses can be constructed well within time of 3 months to 6 months time. Just to understand the technology, there are various technology involved, like prefabricated technology, precast technology, whereby walls, roofs are pre-constructed in the industries and factories, and they're just installed, whereby the construction is taking place. So this is the beauty of technology and the lighthouse that's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to lay the foundation stone for. Now, 6 important sites. We know this fact that Indore, Rajkot, Chennai, Lucknow for that matter, Agartala for that matter. So all these places will be having lighthouse initially, and this is going to be game changer as far as housing and urban housing primarily, because we know this fact that Prime Minister is committed to provide housing for all by 2022, and there are 2 subsets for housing scheme. One is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, and another is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Rural. So as far as urban sector is concerned, this lighthouse projects are going to be game changer.
Absolutely.
Okay, Arun, also when you look at Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban as well as rural, what is the one that's gathering more steam, especially when you look at numbers? How would you look at it, or would you say both are keeping pace with each other?
Well, both are being built at a safe pace. We know this fact that during the COVID pandemic time as well, Anil, that the migrant laborers who were going back to their houses, Prime Minister Narendra Modi started an initiative called Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. That was the Prime Minister. And over there, the focus was as to how can jobs be created by focusing that migrants worker can work in various initiatives of the government. And Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, whereby the migrants started working and they were paid for that thing. And of course, the Awas Yojana also gained momentum. So both the initiatives are having targets 3 crore, close to 3 crore for Awas Yojana Urban. That's what the target is, and both this initiative of rural and urban, they are gaining momentum.
Okay. All right, Arun, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those details. And of course, we'll keep a track of all these developments on that front. Thanks for the moment, though.
Well, let's now shift focus and move over to our next story about New Year celebrations there, and listen to some New Year celebrations greetings. Well, this New Year's Eve was celebrated like no other, with pandemic restrictions limiting crowds and many people bidding farewell to a year they'll prefer to forget. In India, the New Year celebrations are largely muted, with several states and major cities across the country imposing night curfews, restricting large gatherings and shutting down pubs and restaurants. In the national capital, a night curfew was imposed. It was in place on the 31st and will also be in place today from 11 p.m. in the night to 6 a.m. in the morning. Not more than 5 people are allowed to assemble at public places, while in the financial capital Mumbai and the tech capital Bengaluru, limited gatherings to 4 people were allowed.
President Ramnath Kovind has sent his greetings to all the fellow citizens on the eve of New Year 2021. In a message, the President has said, and I quote, "On the occasion of New Year, I extend my heartiest greetings and best wishes to our fellow citizens living in India and abroad. Every New Year provides an opportunity to make a new beginning and emphasizes our resolve for individual and collective development. This difficult time arising out of COVID-19 situation is a time for all of us to move forward unitedly. This is also the time to strengthen the cultural values that reinforce our belief in university in diversity. On the eve of New Year 2021, let us work together towards creating an inclusive society instilled with the spirit of love, compassion and forbearance that promotes peace and goodwill. May all of you remain safe and healthy and move forward with a renewed energy to achieve the common goal of our nation's progress." Unquote.
Well, Vice President has wished the people on the eve of the new year 2021. In his message, he said, and I quote, "Best wishes to all our citizens as we step into the new year 2021. It's an occasion that reinforces our spirit of optimism, of hope and bond-forming. Let us welcome the new year with this spirit of hope as we bid goodbye to a year that has taught us many life lessons through one of the most disruptive pandemics in recent memory. And let us fervently hope that we shall overcome the challenges with grit, confidence, solidarity and resilience. Let 2021 usher in a more healthy, happy and harmonious planet than last year. Let us enter the new year with renewed commitment and hope to fight and defeat this pandemic. With vaccine likely to be available anytime soon, let us welcome 2021 with new enthusiasm and positivity."
And Prime Minister Modi has greeted nation on the kickstart of the new year 2021. In a tweet, the Prime Minister has said, and I quote, "Wishing you a happy 2021. May this year bring good health, joy and prosperity. May the spirit of hope and wellness prevail," unquote.
Well, moving to cold and winters in North India, winter peaks in many parts of the country, including Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. Dense to very dense fog and cold wave conditions prevailed in isolated places across Delhi and NCR today morning. The minimum temperature is expected to remain at 4 degrees Celsius today. On Thursday, the minimum temperature recorded at the Safdarjung Observatory, which is considered the official marker for the city, fell to 3.3 degrees Celsius. The Met Department has said that the fresh western disturbance will impact western Himalayan belt as well as the adjoining areas. So the cold wave will continue in North India further. With these changes in weather, light rains or snowfall is predicted around the 3rd of January. This spell is likely to last till the 6th of Jan.
Now, the Central Pollution Control Board has been reviewing air quality and the Met scenario in Delhi NCR on continuous basis. And as per the Met Department forecast, the ventilation conditions are likely to slow down in Delhi, causing poor dispersion of the pollutants, due to which the AQI is predicted to be in a very poor category for coming days. The Met Department has also directed the Delhi Pollution Control Committee and the SPCBs in the NCR states, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan to ensure that hot mix plants and stone crushers remain closed all the time till tomorrow. The frequency of the mechanized cleaning of roads and water sprinkling is also to be increased, and it must be ensured that all the guidelines for dust mitigation at the construction sites are strictly adhered to. Now, in case of violation, strict action should be taken against the violators. The sale and the use of firecrackers must also remain banned.
Well, let's now take a look at the COVID situation from the worst affected states of the country. Starting first up, heading down south, where Kerala reported the maximum number of new cases on Thursday. 5,215 positive cases were reported on Thursday. Besides, 5,376 patients were discharged, while 30 patients died in the last 24 hours in the southern state. Well, moving up to the western part of India and in Maharashtra, 3,509 new cases were registered, while 3,612 patients were discharged in the last 24 hours. Currently, there are 52,902 active cases in the state. Moving to Tamil Nadu, which continues to show stable COVID-19 numbers, with the daily case tally remaining below the 1,000 mark for the third day in a row. A total of 937 persons tested positive for the virus across the state on Thursday. 13 deaths were reported in the southern state, while 1,038 patients were discharged or recovered in the last 24 hours. Heading to the national capital, Delhi, where 574 new cases of infections were reported on Thursday. 888 patients were cured or discharged, while 13 patients lost the battle against the virus in the last 24 hours. Currently, there are 5,511 active cases in Delhi.
Now, the central government has asked all the states and the union territories to ensure effective preparedness for the vaccine rollout, and the dry runs are scheduled to begin on the 2nd of Jan. Here's a detailed report, all that you need to know about the implementation of the vaccine rollout strategy and much more.
The Health Ministry has issued orders for the vaccine dry runs to be conducted by all states and union territory governments on 2nd January 2021. The activities proposed to be conducted in all state capitals in at least 3 session sites. Some states will also include districts that are situated in difficult terrain, have poor logistical support. Maharashtra and Kerala are likely to schedule the dry run in major cities other than their capital, with the objective of gearing up for the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines across the country. The central government has asked all states and union territories to ensure effective preparedness for the vaccine rollout. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan chaired a high-level meeting to review the preparedness at session sites for COVID-19 vaccination. The Health Ministry has decided the dry run will be conducted by all the state and union territory governments on 2nd of January. The activity is proposed to be conducted in all state capitals in at least 3 session sites. Some states will also include districts that are situated in difficult terrain or have poor logistical support. Maharashtra and Kerala are likely to schedule the dry runs in major cities other than their capital. The objective of the dry run for COVID-19 vaccine introduction is to assess operational feasibility in the use of COVID application in field environment, to test the linkages between planning and implementation, and to identify the challenges and guide way forward prior to actual implementation. The planning for the vaccine introduction will be as per the operational guidelines issued by the Ministry on 20 December 2020. For each of 3 session sites, the concerned medical officer in charge will identify 25 test beneficiaries or the healthcare workers. The states or union territories have also been asked to ensure that the data of these beneficiaries is uploaded in CoWIN. Around 96,000 vaccinators have been trained for this purpose. 2,360 participants have been trained in national training centers, and over 57,000 participants are trained in district level training in 719 districts. The first round of the dry run was conducted in Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Gujarat, Punjab on 28 and 29th of December in 2 districts each, where 5 session sites with 25 beneficiaries each were identified. No major issues were observed in the operational aspects during this dry run. All states expressed confidence in the operational guidelines and IT platform for large-scale program implementation.
Clinical trials also crossed more than 26,000 members. The phase 3 is successful almost. So hence, we need to introduce to the common people by the month of January. Hence the government, ICMR, DCGI and other our Indian government agencies are looking forward to evaluate the vaccine's accessibility.
I think there is a sufficient enthusiasm now amongst all the healthcare workers and scientists that we can do it. We should trust the scientists. There is a body of scientists which is looking at all the data. So when the vaccine goes for approval to the drug controller has a subject expert committee which looks very closely at the data.
As the year 2020 draws close, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured the nation that 2021 rings in with optimism vis-a-vis cure for COVID-19, along with preparations in final stages ahead of rollout of COVID-19 vaccination drive in India. DD India.
And let's now go across to our correspondent Tapash Bhattacharya, who's joining us with more updates on that. Tapash, good morning and Happy New Year to you. When we talk about the COVID vaccine development and its the strategy that's going to be in place for its rollout, dry runs assume a very significant place, really, to making sure that all that's really missing or all the gaps can be addressed before actual inoculation takes place. So this is going to be very crucial in the entire inoculation process, a very important step.
Good morning, Nancy. Yes, you're bang on there that this dry run is going to be the precursor, if you use the term, because this is going to showcase where and how
the whole efficacy of the medicine can be transmitted to the people. Remember, if the health workers are going to be inoculated with the vaccine,
right,
they're from the medicine, from getting the vaccine to getting it to the worker, the whole process, the whole chain has to be absolutely foolproof. First, because it is for the health worker, but then also because it has to be ramped up further for giving it to the other people once vaccines will be manufactured in bulk quantity. So in that sense, this is going to be, this particular dry run is of utmost importance, utmost significance in considering this the fact that in all likelihood, in the first month of in this particular January, we will have a vaccine in all likelihood. So given that situation, this dry run becomes even more significant for all the states as well as for the center.
Absolutely. And this dry run, in fact, coming just ahead of a crucial meeting of the expert panel on emergency use vaccine authorization that's expected to take place today. Just give us a sense of what this meeting is really going to be focusing on when we talk about the inoculation process to start.
That's right, Nancy. So subject expert committee meeting, which met a day earlier, and will be meeting today also at around 12 o'clock. The DSGI will be keeping a close tab on the subject expert committee's recommendation, because the recommendation will also will provide an idea whether the Serum Institute's vaccine, which AstraZeneca has developed and Serum Institute is going to manufacture in bulk, will be available for people in the country. In fact, yesterday in one of the webinars where VG Somani was a participant, he hinted the fact that the new year is expected to bring good news. So one keeps their finger crossed the fact that today's meeting may just give us India's first vaccine, first approval for the vaccine for which Serum Institute has been vying for. Remember, Serum Institute is one of the largest vaccine manufacturer in the country, and they have already made it a point that once they get the approval, they will be able to. They in fact already has almost 40 to 50 million doses, so they will be able to ship out the vaccines as soon as they get approval. And considering this is AstraZeneca's vaccine that UK has given approval, so there are 2 points very important out here. The first is that this particular vaccine does not require a very cold condition. Remember the other vaccines that are currently are there for biotech, that they require minus 70-degree storage facility. This particular vaccine of AstraZeneca developed by the Oxford University, it doesn't require that. It requires only 2 to 8 degrees Celsius of storage capacity. And also the fact that this will be manufactured in bulk by the Serum Institute, which is expected that this particular vaccine will be priced between $3 to $4. So this is going to be a cheap, it will be available for many. So keeping that in mind for a country like India, this is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks, Tapash, very much for bringing out the true facts there as far as its affordability and the storage facilities is concerned. And like Dr. Somani said, probably we'll have a new year with something in hand. On that note, Tapash, thanks very much for joining us and sharing all those details.
Well, moving on to education, where the CBSE has decided to conduct Class 10 and Class 12 board exams from May 4th. The exams will conclude by June 10th, 2021. Results will be out by July 15th. Announcing the date, Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said that the nation has shifted to online classrooms overnight amid the pandemic with the help of teachers. He also said that One Class, One Channel was launched by DTH Services to help those students who do not have access to the internet and smartphones. He also thanked the students for their constant support and cooperation.
10वीं और 12वीं की जो बोर्ड की परीक्षा है, वो बोर्ड की परीक्षा 4 मई से प्रारंभ हो जाएगी और 4 मई से प्रारंभ होने वाली ये बोर्ड की परीक्षा हमको भरोसा है कि हम 10 जून तक इसको पूरा कर सकेंगे और परिणामों को घोषणा 15 जुलाई तक कर देनी चाहिए। प्रैक्टिकल की जो परीक्षाएं हैं वो आपकी 1 मार्च से शुरू हो जाएंगी। मेरी शुभकामना आप पूरी ताकत के साथ और बहुत आत्मबल के साथ बिना किसी तनाव के आप परीक्षा की तैयारी में जुटे।
Now, the Army has opened skill centers for youth in the backward areas along the LOC. They provide computer education and coaching for girls and boys. They also provide coaching to the young boys to prepare them for recruitment in the Army and paramilitary forces. Our correspondent Nandita Dagar spoke with the students in Cham and Jurian in JNK.
भारतीय सेना की वाइजन की मदद से आज मैं सेना में भर्ती हुआ हूं, जिसमें भारतीय सेना ने मेरे फिजिकल और मेरे रिटन टेस्ट में मेरी बहुत सहायता की और मुझे ये गर्व महसूस हो रहा है कि मैं अपने देश के लिए कुछ कर सकूं, जिससे मेरे परिवार वालों का नाम रोशन हो, मेरे गांव का नाम रोशन हो।
पहले हमारे पास दौड़ने के लिए रोड नहीं था। हमने सीईओ साहब से बात की और उन्होंने हमारे दौड़ने के लिए हमें रोड दिया और हर साल यहाँ दौड़ कराते हैं।
I have spent 17 years in this organization and this decision was the one we were waiting for a very long time, I guess, and we are very happy, and this is a very encouraging decision which has come in favor of not only me personally but all the women officers who were serving in the organization and were looking forward to having a career in the army.
A major step taken by the Supreme Court in granting the permanent commission to the women officers in the army. I'm sure we'll see many more women joining the army and taking it as a career option, because now you know how to go about and for a longer duration.
हम बैकवर्ड एरिया से हैं तो हमें हर चीज़ की फैसिलिटी नहीं मिलती इधर, तो ना हम बाज़ार जा सकते हैं, टाइमिंग भी बहुत लग जाता है, गाड़ियाँ भी जहाँ से टाइम से जाती हैं, तो इधर से हमें कंप्यूटर क्लासेस ज्वाइन करने को मिला, बहुत प्रैक्टिस मिली हमें, जिससे हमें कॉन्फिडेंट भी बहुत आया, तो उस वजह से हमें बहुत फैसिलिटी मिली इधर से।
And with that, let's move on now and take a look at all the news from around the world in across the globe.
Well, moving to the segment on how the world celebrated New Year, let's now take a look at how the New Year was ushered in across the globe, starting first up with New Zealand, which welcomed 2021 with its several cities hosting fireworks display with only limited restrictions. Well, moving to Australia, which also welcomed the New Year with fireworks show and visuals from Sydney Harbour. People in Taiwan also welcomed the New Year with fireworks show.
我们现在看到的序章，我们告别2020，迎接2021，这是我们的第一个章节。
让爱拥抱世界，让希望拥抱未来。金色系是主色调，象征台湾灿烂的文明和多元包容。
首先，我们 现在看到是第一个篇章，我们向防疫英雄致敬，全民齐心向前行。
白色的烟火代表辛苦的医护人员，内蕴红色系的色调代表英雄们的热情。
Well, mesmerizing visuals there from across the world.
Spectacular really, but with restrictions in place, of course, due to COVID-19. But of course,
Well, Nancy, what's your New Year resolutions? You know, New Year's is generally about resolutions. What's a resolution that you've made this year?
I think every year I just resolve to be, to stay healthier, to be more at peace, and to just, be more happier about each and everything. And really, I think one of the things that we often forget in our daily lives, because we get so busy around our office and daily chores, that we must really be very grateful and express a gratitude for all that we have and for all that we are blessed with.
Well, exactly. That's the point that one should take forward to, hopeful that this particular year is going to bring a lot about changes. Especially, let's forget the year gone by, 2020. Most of us would like it to be, ticked with an X against that particular year.
I think 2020 in particular, let's not just look at it, a year that was not really great for all of us. I would say that let's look at it a year that had lots of lessons in store for all of us. That health is the most important aspect of your life, and that should not be forgotten. That should not be overlooked in any sense or in any in any meaning. That must be given the utmost priority. Your family and your health matters the most, and this is what that we should be paying utmost attention to.
Well, exactly. That's the most important thought. I'm reminded of Albert Einstein's important, famous quote: "Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow." That's exactly what we're going to hope for the next 365 days. Not only for me and Nancy, but all the viewers watching us on DD India. That it's a year of hope and it's a year of aspirations. May all our viewers achieve their dreams and attain success. Well, moving forward now, coming back to the problem of COVID and how are the global numbers stacked up. Let's take a look at that.
Yes, taking a look at the global updates. Well, as of now, more than 8 crore 37 lakh COVID-19 cases have been reported worldwide, with over 18 lakh 24,000 deaths. Over 5 crore 92 lakh people have recovered from the virus, though, and the US continues to remain the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of infections. The US has recorded over 2 crore 4 lakh cases of the virus, with the death toll surging past 3 lakh 53,000. Now, Brazil follows the US in terms of death toll with 1,94,000 deaths.
Well, China has detected its first imported case of the new coronavirus variant that is spreading rapidly across Britain. Countries around the world have cut off travel links to UK to stop the spread of the new variant, which scientists have said is 40% to 70% more transmissible than the original virus. The first patient in China with the new variant is a 23-year-old woman from Shanghai who arrived from Britain on December 14th. According to the Chinese Center for Disease Control, the case poses a great potential threat to the prevention and control of COVID-19 in China. The variant includes a genetic mutation that in theory could result in COVID-19 spreading more easily between people. China will be suspending direct flights to and from Britain indefinitely. The patient in Shanghai has been transferred to a designated medical institution for quarantine. Investigation into her close contacts has begun.
Now, the World Health Organization has listed Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use in a move seeking to speed access in the developing world. The UN Health Agency said it will work with the regional partners to tell national health authorities about the 2-dose shot and its anticipated benefits. The WHO established its emergency use listing process to help poorer countries without their own regulatory resources quickly approve medicines and the new diseases like COVID-19, which otherwise could lead to delays. The WHO's review found Pfizer BioNTech's vaccine met the must-have criteria for safety and efficacy benefits outweigh its risks. However, the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine's challenging storage and delivery requirements, including keeping it at -70 degrees Celsius, have made deliveries challenging in the Western countries and may pose bigger hurdles for developing nations without adequate infrastructure. Pfizer and BioNTech's messenger RNA vaccine was found to be 95% effective after 2 doses 21 days apart.
Well, New York City aims to vaccinate 1 million residents against the coronavirus by the end of January 2021. Mayor Bill Blasio said that the effort will require setting up of vaccination sites across the city. The city vaccinates over 5,000 people every day, and about 2.8 million Americans have received the vaccine shot so far, targeting 20 million people this month. So far, there are over 1,15,000 cases of COVID-19 in New York City, adding the cumulative total of United States to stand about 2,421,000, while the number of fatalities is more than 3,53,000 in the whole of America.
Now, in some more developments taking place around the world, the UK has left the European Union's orbit yesterday, turning its back on a 48-year liaison with the European project. The Brexit transition period expired on the New Year's Eve, 4 years after Brexit vote. The transition period had preserved de facto European Union membership after the UK formally left the European Union on 31st of January last year. Britain left the European bloc's vast single market for people, goods and services midnight in Brussels, completing the biggest single economic change the country has experienced since World War II. A different UK-European Union trade deal is set to bring new restrictions. However, for British Brexit supporters, it means reclaiming national independence from European Union and its web of rules. The UK joined the precursor to European Union on the 1st of January in the year 1973.
Well, taking a quick look at Wall Street on how the stock markets from across the world have reacted. UK stocks, US stocks spent the final session of economically the most tumultuous year in recent memory, setting records. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose to 30,606 points, recording its 14th record close of 2020. The S&P 500 recorded its 33rd record of the year, rising 24 points to 3,756. The Nasdaq Composite added 18 points to close at 12,888. In the end, the three major index notched more than 100 record closes in 2020 and finished a chaotic year in winning fashion. The Dow rose 7.2% for 2020. The S&P 500 jumped 16%. The Russell 2000 index of smaller cap stocks gained 18%, and the Nasdaq surged 44%. Gold closed out 2020 at $1,893, up 25%, its best year percentage gain since 2010. One of the few losing assets this year was oil, as NYMEX crude fell by 21%. In the UK, FTSE 100 index fell 1.5% after the British government announced tougher restrictions across England due to the heightened COVID-19 infections. In Asia, China's Shanghai Composite gained 1.7% by the close of trading, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng ticked up 0.3%.
And with that, let's move on now to our next segment and get you all the news from the World Wide Web in a segment of Web News Review.
Well, we've got our colleague Rukma joining us this morning. Rukma, welcome to Breakfast News and New Year greeting.
Well, New Year greetings to you as well, and also to Nancy. A very, very happy New Year to all our viewers too. Well, even though it's a new year and we are starting on it's a fresh start for all of us, we are hoping for great things this year, a better days ahead. It's still COVID-19 that's trending on the World Wide Web. And although the news now is very positive, there's a lot of analysis going on about what happened and how a pandemic that has affected every sector of our lives. Experts and pundits are analyzing various aspects. So the first article I've selected is from Z News. It talks about how the COVID-19 pandemic has hit the Chinese leadership and brought opportunity for India. Despite India being known for having a very fragile and overburdened health system, we are a country who in these months have been able to control the spread of the disease and manage its treatment and cure. And that has won India a lot of respect. Not just that, compared to countries like China, who have whose leadership credentials have really been put to question because of the way it handled the pandemic both within its country as well as outside. The Indian leadership has come in for a lot of kudos and a lot of applause because of the way it supplied drugs and the way it supplied drugs for the cause of humanity to other countries and so on. It talks about, however, the challenges ahead as well, because the pandemic has hit India very hard economically. It talks about how so many of our people work overseas, NRIs who work particularly in the Gulf countries have been hit really hard, and the economy as a whole and the challenges ahead, even as it says how India has battled it much better because of its leadership than many developed countries even. Next, the Indian Express explains the mutation of viruses. Now that we have a new coronavirus variant that's coming in from the UK and spreading across the world, the earlier version has spread to every continent with 58 detected in Antarctica. There's no place left on Earth that has not been affected. The Indian Express in this article explains about the mutation of viruses and the coronavirus variant in the UK. It talks about it has a lot of technical terms. Genome, for example, the testing of genomes. Also, it talks about the particular variant in the UK, when it emerged, how it emerged, and how it's spreading, and why we should worry about it. Next, coming to news on business, very quickly going through the business stories. Lots of positive news there. In its 2020 wrap, the Money Control talks about how Nifty posts gains of 15%, the highest, the best in fact since 2017, and FII has raked up 1.6 lakh crore rupees in this fiscal year. EPFO has started crediting 8.5% for the year 2019 to 20, and amount will be reflected in EPFO accounts from the 1st of January. Also, all Jio calls will be free from the 1st of January, that's today onwards. So big gift to Jio subscribers. Also, 8 crore industries output has reflected that a contraction of just a little over 2%. Well, while contraction is definitely not good news, the figure 2.6% is notable. It's much less than was thought it would be. And then the Times of India, in its education wrap, it's talked about all the new developments in education, and that made a very interesting read. It talked about all the new things that happened in this sector over the past year. NEP, for example, National Education Policy, a major landmark. Schools and whilst it talks about how schools and colleges closed and the rise of the e-classroom and how everything went online from examinations to admission procedures. And it also talks about how it has changed, the pandemic has changed the entire education sector. Finally, coming to environment, as positive news there as well, even though there are major concerns because about the environment because of the relaxation of various laws and rules and regulations. Many environmental curbs that were there to protect the environment, they went haywire. But the National Geographic says that there are 7 wins that gave us hope for the environment in 2020 and speak of a better future for the entire world. Among them, less dependence on fossil fuels, increasing surge of electric vehicles. We've already talked about how the oil industry suffered a hit and how major countries, all countries in fact across the globe, are looking at renewable sources of energy. It talks about how the world catches a glimpse of a cleaner world, and mention here is there of India, that India, where the air is very polluted, even there it was reported that the Himalayas could be seen. Also, it talks about how the oceans were taken care of, how the number of whales have improved. So lots of big good things there for the environment in the past year. Thank you very much. Back to Nancy and Anil. I think I'm running out of time.
Thank you and appreciate you joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Rukma, for joining us and sharing with us the Web News Review. And we also extend our New Year greetings to you as well. Thanks very much. And let's now move on to our next segment and take a look at all the business stories for today. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has extended the deadline for 100% collection of the toll charges on the national highway network through FASTag till 15th February. At the hybrid lanes of toll plazas on national highways, the toll fee payment can be made through FASTag as well as in cash mode till 15th February. Moreover, in FASTag lanes of e-plazas, the payment of fees will continue to be through FASTag only. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has mandated the fitment of FASTag with effect from 1st January this year. However, commuters can choose to pay toll fee by cash as hybrid lanes will be operational till 15th of February.
Well, let's move to our next segment that's taking a look at all the sports stories in Sports Track. Well, former India hockey player, 1975 World Cup winning team member Michael Kindo yesterday died at the age of 73. He was part of the 1972 Munich Olympic team that won a bronze medal, beating Holland 2-1. The Arjuna Award winner Kindo was also part of the Indian team that won the World Cup in 1975 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. In the final, India defeated Pakistan 2-1. Surjit Singh scored the first crucial goal, followed by the winner from Ashok Kumar.
And well, the 2020 sports season was marred by COVID-19 pandemic, with most of the major sporting events either postponed or cancelled altogether. But 2021 brings new hope and hopes for a better year, hopes for better fortunes, and more importantly, hopes for a smooth sporting season. So here we bring you the major sporting events concerning India in the upcoming year. Take a look.
The third Grand Slam of the COVID era and the first to take place in the year when everyone hopes we return to some level of normalcy. Tennis in 2021 will resume with one of its Grand Slams, the Australian Open. It is traditionally the first of the 4 Grand Slams held every year. It will be held in Melbourne from the 8th to the 21st of February. The 2021 ISSF World Cup in New Delhi will be an important event for Indian marksmen. As of now, it will be held from the 18th to the 29th of March. Those who have already qualified for the Olympics will be looking to fine-tune their preparations. Athletes from across the globe will look to prove their mettle and boost their confidence ahead of the Olympics at the World Athletics Indoor Championships. The event is set to run from 19th to 21st March. The 2021 French Open will get underway at the Stade Roland Garros in Paris with the first round from 23rd May. A European Championship like no other in more ways than one. Firstly, because it's taking place a year later than scheduled, and secondly, because it will see 24 teams compete across a host of cities including Rome, Baku, Dublin and Bilbao, with the semi-finals and final taking place at Wembley. The Wimbledon will be back in 2021 after being cancelled in 2020 due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. The 134th Championships will be staged from the 28th of June to the 11th of July 2021. The showpiece event of 2020 will be the showpiece event of 2021. Olympics 2021 was originally slated to get underway from 24th July to 9th August 2020 in Tokyo, but keeping in mind the safety and security of the athletes due to novel coronavirus pandemic, the marquee event is set to get underway in 2021 from the 23rd of July to the 8th of August. All being well, the 16th Summer Paralympic Games will see 537 events contested from 22 different sports, with badminton and taekwondo new additions to the program. England will travel to India in early 2021 to play 4 test matches, 5 international T20s and 3 one-day internationals. The 15th edition of the tournament, with matches being played as T20 internationals, has been postponed from September 2020 to June 21, 2021, with Sri Lanka Cricket hosting the competition. The 7th ICC Men's T20 World Cup tournament was first scheduled to take place in Australia in 2020. However, it has officially been moved to India, where it will be played across October and November.
So lots to look forward to, especially in the world of sports. Olympics in 2021, also the T20 World Cup in India.
Absolutely. And with that, let's move on now to our next segment and take a look at the health story of the day. Well, there are many factors that affect our health, and staying healthy is very critical. Well, in this new year, what everyone should really do to stay healthy, let's understand from this report.
Health is wealth. Staying fit and healthy plays an important role in our life. But how to attain perfect health is a big question for most people.
As a cancer specialist, I would like to tell the viewers that they should stay healthy in the new year. They should avoid alcohol, avoid smoking or smokeless tobacco, and they should do exercise regularly, eat a healthy diet so that they should not get cancer. They can avoid cancer in the coming year.
People neglect their health because of their hectic daily schedules, but there are little things that you can do each day to be healthy and fit.
I'm sure the coming year, 2021, will be a year full of joy, and health will be something that we will all be conscious about. So let us all take a resolution that for 2021, we will really work on a healthy India, exercise regularly, eat nutritious diet, and follow habits which are good as far as infection control is concerned, like regular hand washing and wearing a mask till it is really required.
Give your day a healthier start, make a healthy plan for the year, and get started on the way to attaining complete health right from today.
Good health is the greatest blessing. A healthy body and a calm mind are the things that can't be bought. They must be earned. So take a resolution to earn your health in this new year. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
Well, I like that backdrop there. I can and I will focus on my health. That's going to be a New Year resolutions for most of us, especially walking into the new year. Well, time now to shift focus and take a look at all the important events that took place on this very day in history, January 1st.
On this day in the year 1862, Indian Penal Code came into force. It's a comprehensive code intended to cover all substantive aspects of criminal law. On this day in 1894, Indian physicist and Padma Vibhushan Satyendranath Bose was born in Kolkata. He was known for his work on quantum mechanics in the early 1920s, providing the foundation for Bose-Einstein statistics and theory of Bose-Einstein condensate. In the year 1973, on the same day, Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom was proclaimed Empress of India in Delhi Darbar. On this day in 1995, the World Trade Organization came into existence. The organization, which is a group of 125 nations, monitors global trade.
Well, time now to take a look at the weather through the satellite image, also weather in your city. Well, let's now take a look at the satellite image there. Due to an interaction between the above westerly disturbance and lower level easterlies from the Bay of Bengal, what happens is scattered to fairly widespread rainfall accompanied with thunderstorm and hailstorm at isolated places over Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, North Rajasthan, West Uttar Pradesh, Northwest Madhya Pradesh during the next 2 to 3 days, with the maximum intensity there expected on the 4th and 5th of Jan. Also, due to the likely southeasterly winds from the northwest and central India, minimum temperatures very likely to be rise gradually by 3 to 5 degrees over most parts of northwest and central India, and cold day and severe cold conditions over Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, West Madhya Pradesh during the next 24 hours. Dense fog in isolated pockets very likely over Bihar, Assam, Meghalaya and Nagaland. Time now to take a look at the temperatures in your city. Well, everyone has 365 days in a year. What matters is what we do with them. So remember, as the new year is begun, it's all about new year resolutions. It's about taking a pledge to do things right. Let's all try and do something right for the year ahead.
Absolutely. Well, the year is new and the hopes are new or fresh. And of course, we have new determinations and resolutions. But the practice should be old, and which is to sanitize your hands, keep physical distance, and keep wearing your mask wherever you step out of your house and in fact from your wherever you are. So it's a simple and special campaign that we are running for the safety of you and your loved ones. Just wear your mask, and we're also going to be doing that on our way out. And before we do that, we're in fact leaving you with some beautiful visuals. Well, after the end of the year, the last year 2020, which was full of challenges and lots of learning lessons, really, the sun has risen today, marking the start of the new year 2021. And we are taking you to the holy city of Varanasi, where as it rung in New Year celebrations with its majestic Ganga Aarti early this morning. Take a look at those beautiful visuals there, and we wish you a great day and a great year ahead. Thanks for being with us.